You know what keeps most people from reaching where they want to go? It's not a lack of talent. It's not even a lack of opportunity. It's that they're waiting for somebody to show up, waiting for somebody to clap for them, waiting for somebody to say, yes, you're good enough. And while they're waiting, time is moving, opportunities are passing, and their dream, it's sitting there collecting. It's sitting there waiting for them to finally believe in it. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Nobody is coming to hand you permission. Nobody is coming to crown you. If you're sitting around hoping your friends will support you, your family will understand, or society will open the door for you, let me save you the wait. They won't, because it's not their dream. It's yours. Think about it. Every great innovator, every great artist, every successful entrepreneur, what's the common thread? At some point, they decided to move without applause. They acted on something only they could see. People told them, crazy, that'll never work. Who do you think you are? And they went anyway. That decision to step forward without consensus is what separates the ones who make history from the ones who just talk about it. See, permission seeking is rooted in fear. We want validation because it feels safer. If somebody tells us, yes, you can do it, then we've got cover. If it doesn't work out, at least it wasn't just our decision. But life doesn't reward hesitation. Life rewards courage. The people who succeed are the ones willing to put their name on the line to say, this is my choice, and I'll carry the consequences. And don't confuse waiting with preparation. Some of you say, I'm just getting ready. You've been getting ready for 10 years, still tweaking the plan, still perfecting the product, still waiting for the market to be right. Let me tell you, there will never be a perfect time. You think success is sitting at a bus stop, scheduled to arrive at 10 a.m. No, it comes when you move. You don't catch opportunity by sitting still. You meet it halfway by stepping into motion. Let me take you a little deeper. Psychologists talk about locus of control, the belief about where your life's control comes from. People with an external locus think their life is determined by circumstances, by other people, by luck. People with an internal locus understand I am responsible, I can act. If you're waiting for permission, you're living with an external locus. You've already given the keys to your life to someone else. And let me tell you, they're too busy driving their own car to worry about yours. Philosophically, it comes down to freedom. Paul Sartre, the French philosopher, said that we are condemned to be free. What he meant was, there's no escape from choice. Even when you don't choose, you've still chosen to do nothing. And in that non-choice, your life slips away. If you want to honor that gift of freedom, you've got to choose boldly. You've got to say, I will not hand my freedom to anyone else. I will not live waiting for their blessing. I will bless myself. Here's something else to understand. The people you're waiting on, those friends, those family members, those co-workers, you think they're holding you back, but the truth is, they're just mirrors. Their hesitation reflects your own. If you really believed in your dream, you wouldn't need their yes. You'd already be running. The fact that you're waiting is the proof you don't trust yourself yet. And that's the real work. Building the courage to say yes to yourself first. I know what you're thinking, but what if I fail? And I'll tell you. So what? Failure is information. Failure is feedback. Every single person you admire has a trail of failures behind them. The difference is they didn't wait for someone to rescue them from the risk. They embraced it. They understood that failure is not the opposite of success. It's the path to it. When you stop waiting, when you start moving, something shifts in you. The fear doesn't vanish, but it stops being the driver. You begin to feel alive because you're finally acting in alignment with what you want, not what other people approve of. That's where power comes from. That's where momentum builds. So I'll leave you with this stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the green light. The truth is, you are the green light. You've been sitting at an intersection, hoping someone will wave you through, but you're holding the wheel, and your foot is on the pedal. The road won't move until you do. Give yourself permission. Today. Right now. Because nobody else can. Nobody else. Nobody else. You'll spend your whole life stuck at the light, watching everybody else drive by. Now, once you stop waiting for permission, and you finally start moving, here's what usually happens. Suddenly it feels quiet. People you thought would cheer for you, they disappear. Friends you expected to come along, they've got other things to do. Family might even question why you're wasting your time. And that silence can feel heavy. That's the part nobody warns you about. The loneliness. But let me flip that perspective for you. What you call loneliness, I call training. What you call silence, I call strength. Because solitude isn't a punishment. It's preparation. Think about it. Every great season of growth in life happens in solitude. Seeds don't sprout in crowds. They sprout underground, hidden in the dark. Muscles don't build in the gym itself. They build in the recovery, in the rest when nobody's watching. The same is true for your character, your resilience, your vision. It's in the quiet seasons, when you feel like it's just you against the world, that the real foundation is laid. Psychologists talk about resilience not as some fixed trait, but as a muscle. It develops when we're challenged, when we face stress without immediate relief. When you go through solitude, what's really happening is your brain and your spirit are rewiring themselves for independence. You start realizing, wait a minute, I can solve problems on my own. I can make decisions without a committee. I can fall and still get back up without someone holding my hand. That discovery that you can survive by yourself changes the way you walk in every room for the rest of your life. See, too many people avoid solitude because it feels uncomfortable. They always need noise, distraction, somebody to validate them. But comfort is a trap. Comfort is where dreams go to die. Solitude strips all that away. It forces you to hear your own voice, to wrestle with your own doubts, and then to rise above them. And if you can rise above yourself, you can rise above anything. Philosophically, let's go deeper. Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the great thinkers, talked about the idea of becoming who you truly are. And he said the path to that always requires solitude. Why? Because society will always try to mold you into what it needs, not what you are. When you step away, when you endure that silence, you begin to hear the truth of your own calling. You stop being a reflection of other people's expectations, and you start becoming the original version of yourself. That's why solitude is never wasted time. That's why isolation is often the birthplace of genius. When you're alone, you're not being pulled in 1,000 directions. You get clarity. You get focus. You see what you really want, not what your friends want, not what your parents want, not what culture is telling you to chase, just you and your truth. And from that, strength is born. But let me be real with you. It's not easy. When you're in that season of solitude, you'll doubt yourself. You'll wonder if you made the wrong choice, if you're wasting your time, if maybe you should have just stayed where it was safe. That's natural. The mind hates uncertainty. But hear me, discomfort is not danger. Discomfort is growth. Every time you feel that loneliness, remind yourself. Remind yourself it's not a sign you're failing, it's a sign you're building. And here's the beautiful part. When you do the work in solitude, you no longer chase validation. You no longer beg people to believe in you. You don't need it. Because you know what you've built, you know what you've endured, and that kind of confidence can't be faked, and it can't be taken. It's yours. Think about a tree in the middle of a storm. If it only had shallow roots, that storm would knock it down in a heartbeat. But if its roots have grown deep underground, where no one can see, it stands strong. That's what solitude does. It grows your roots deep. So when storms come, and they will, you don't break. You bend, you sway, but you stay standing. is usually the weakest. I need to understand this solitude is not the absence of strength. It's the birthplace of it. Every great leader, every great thinker, every person who's changed history, they went through seasons of silence. And instead of running from it, they leaned into it. They used that quiet to sharpen themselves like a blade. And when the time came to step into the world, they were ready. So don't fear doing it alone. Don't resist those seasons where it feels like nobody understands. That's where you're becoming refined. That's where you're becoming dangerous in the best way. And when you come out of that solitude, you'll realize something powerful. You don't need anyone to complete you, to validate you, to hold you up. You stand tall on your own. And from that place of strength, you can walk into any room, any challenge, any opportunity, and know you are enough. So the next time you feel that sting of being alone, flip the script. Don't say, "Why me?" Say, "Good. This is my season to grow." Because solitude isn't breaking you, it's building you. And the moment you embrace that truth, you'll never look at being alone the same way again. Here's the part that surprises most people. After you stop waiting for permission, after you've endured the silence of solitude, something shifts. You start moving, even if it's messy, even if it's uncertain. And at first, it feels like it's just you. But then, slowly, almost mysteriously, the right people begin to appear. See, life has this strange rhythm. When you sit still, when you wait around, nothing happens. But when you move, when you show commitment, life responds. It starts to send people, opportunities, doors you couldn't have predicted. But the catch is, those people never show up until you've already proven you can walk alone. Psychologists call this selection. The moment you start living authentically, you filter out those who don't belong. The friends who only loved your comfort zone. They drift away. The people who doubted you, they stop calling. And it hurts because you thought you needed them. What's really happening is clearing space for those aligned with your vision to step in. Think about it. If you're pretending to be someone you're not, you'll attract people who match the mask, not the real you. But when you strip that away and stand in your truth, even if it's lonely at first, you finally create the conditions for the right ones to find you. The ones who see you, not the performance. The ones who respect you, not the version of you they can control. Philosophically, this is what the Stoics taught. Epictetus said, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. But you can't meet those people if you never start walking. If you sit waiting for approval, you'll keep circling the same crowd, the same doubts, the same cycles. To graduate to the next circle, you have to step out, sometimes into emptiness, trusting that new voices will rise to meet you. And they do. Every time. But only after you move. I'll give you a simple image. Imagine you're climbing a mountain. If you stand at the base, talking about how one day you'll climb, you'll never meet the seasoned climbers, the guides, the mentors who've already walked that path. Why? Because they're not down at the base. They're higher up, waiting along the trail. The only way you meet them is by climbing, by sweating, by stumbling, by taking that risk alone. That's where alignment happens, not at the bottom, but on the way up. And here's the beauty of it. The people you meet on the journey don't need convincing. You don't have to beg them to understand your dream. They get it. They get it because they're walking their own. They respect the struggle because they've lived it. They recognize the courage it took for you to move without support because they've done the same. Those are the relationships that last. Those are the partnerships that build empires. But let me warn you, the wrong people will try to come back. When they see you making progress, especially the weakest, when they see the momentum, suddenly they'll want a seat again. Not because they believe in you, but because they see the shine. That's when solitude pays off. That's when solitude pays off. Because now you have the discernment to know the difference. You've built the strength to say, no, I'm not going backward. I only walk with those moving forward. Let's go even deeper. There's a law in psychology called the Pygmalion effect. People rise or fall based on the expectations of those around them. When you're surrounded by doubters, their low expectations pull you down. When you surround yourself with people who see greatness in you, even before you fully see it in yourself, their belief lifts you. That's why the right people matter. Not just for support, but for elevation. But again, don't miss this. You don't find them by waiting. You don't find them by asking, who's coming with me? You find them by going, by being bold enough to say, even if I walk alone today, I trust that tomorrow will bring the right ones to my side. And that's not just psychology. That's faith. Faith that the universe, God, whatever name you give it, responds to motion, responds to courage, responds to action. It's like doors only appear when you're already in the hallway. You'll never see them if you stay in the living room. So stop worrying about who's not with you right now. Stop begging people to come along who've already shown they don't want to. Your path isn't for everyone. It never was. But your courage will attract your people. Your commitment will call them in. And when they arrive, you won't have to chase. You won't have to convince. They'll fit like puzzle pieces you didn't even know you were missing. And when that happens, when you've done it alone long enough to prove you can, and you finally look around and realize you're not alone anymore. you'll understand. That was the test all along. Not to see if you could find people, but to see if you could first become the person worth finding. So don't fear the empty seats. Don't fear the silence. Keep walking, keep building, keep trusting, because the right people will meet you, but only if you're already moving. And when they do, you'll see why you had to do it alone first, because strength attracts strength, purpose attracts purpose, and courage attracts courage. So remember this, your journey is yours, but it was never meant to stay yours alone. Walk it boldly, that the right people will find you on the way.